On tap, Bourbon County Brand Stout. Hi, I'm James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority. Today we are drinking a beer that I am excited to have on the show. Bourbon County Brand Stout from the Goose Island Beer Company in Chicago, Illinois. Goose Island started as a brewpub in 1988. In 2011, their production brewery was sold to AB Inbev. They currently distribute to all 50 states. Bourbon County Brand Stout was first brewed in 1992 to celebrate the brewery's 1,000th batch of beer. This is America's first bourbon barrel-aged stout, and the recipe is held up well because it ranks 41st on Beeradvocate's top beers in the world list. The 2012 version is 15% ABV and 60 IBUs. It is available in 4-packs of 12-ounce bottles. This year, Goose Island brewed 5 times more Bourbon County than last year, so it should be a little easier to find. The beer can be cellared for up to 5 years. Drink it in a snifter for best results. Warning, this will make you look like a snob. Let the blind taste test begin. Chefers.
Hey.
Tell us about the aroma.
The aroma? I mean, I definitely get like a caramel, chocolate, little hint of cherry smell to it. I mean, it's really nice, really rich, full aroma.
Would you describe it as boozy or not boozy?
I don't get it boozy. I mean, I mean, I definitely you can when it hits, you can tell that there's some alcohol content to it when it hits your nose, but I don't call it boozy necessarily.
Do you agree with that assessment, Joby?
I do not, James. I think this is a boozy beer.
I think bozo.
That very well may be true, but I mean, for me, I mean the smell and the taste for me, I think I get a strong hint of booze on the nose and on the initial taste. I don't know. I get a little more when I swirl it around and then pull from it, but to me,
would you wager a guess on the alcohol level?
I was gonna say around 8.5. I think both of these guys were saying much higher than that, but I don't know, just an arbitrary guess of 8.5. I have nothing really to base that off of.
Yeah.
Let's
Ryan,
pick a number.
What flavors are you pulling out of this beer?
Definitely getting a lot of kind of roast and chocolatey characters. I guess we were kind of talking a little bit back and forth, trying to decide whether we thought this was something that had seen time in a barrel, and a lot of those you get a lot of big vanilla notes, and we weren't really pulling that out of this beer.
Chef, let's just get to it. What's your rating?
I'm going to give this a solid 9. I mean, I think this is a really nice, drinkable beer. I really, really like the really strong flavor characteristics to it. I think it's smooth. I do believe it has a higher ABV to it. But yeah, go 9.
Joby, what's your rating and why?
I am below Chef in many ways.
Just not in height.
And just not in height. For this beer, James, I'm going 7. It's a good beer, and I'm sure it's got great redeeming qualities that everybody can pull out of. But for me, personal preference, I'm not really feeling it. It's a little too boozy. It's a little probably too big for me. Probably, nothing that I'm going to go seek out every week, have 1 or 2 of these in the fridge.
Do you feel any pressure, like you feel like it's in a snifter?
I do.
You better rate it. You better like it.
Absolutely. It's weird because it's a blind taste test, because I'm sure it's one of the well-known beers, and everyone's gonna rave about it. But it might just not be up my alley. So,
well, that's true.
I mean, I could definitely see that.
Tastes.
I mean, it has strong flavor characteristics. It definitely has the alcohol content in it. There's no masking. I mean, there's some masking in it. I think there's some masking in it based on, I think it's higher than 8.5. I would go 9.5 or even higher than that on the alcohol content. But again, I could be way off. But
yeah, I mean, I will say this. It does. I still get the alcohol hit up front, and then at the back end, it mellows off. So, masking, yeah, it does mask it there on the back end, but still, in the nose for me, in the initial taste, I still get that boozy alcohol flavor and taste.
Yeah. Now, this is a blind taste test. Do you think just the fact that the beer is in a snifter automatically shifts your perception of what's about to happen.
Might have to try that sometime. Have something not very good
And
in snifters and see what the panel thinks of it.
That's what we're doing now.
This is Guinness.
I think it's better than where Joby had it. I think I'm right between the two of them at an 8. And we've been talking a lot about the alcohol and maybe kind of going back and forth about whether people perceive it as boozy or not. It's not boozy like snorting a shot of vodka, but it's definitely high alcohol. Mm-hmm. My guess is at 10.2. Arbitrary guess.
Very specific, 10.2.
But it's definitely like it's a warming alcohol. It's not coming across harsh to me. Just smelling it, even when it's cold, and even a little bit more now as it's warming up. First smell, you know that it's a high alcohol beer. That carries through in the tasting of it too. But it's kind of as Joby was saying, it kind of mellows towards the end, and it's a warming alcohol to me rather than. I guess I think of boozy as more of a harsher sort of high alcohol.
I mean, I think this is a great sipping beer. I mean, snifter or no snifter, I mean, you pour this in a mug, I'm not going to be able to chug this back, but I'm sure I can enjoy a bottle or two of these. I don't know how many more.
Two might be pushing it.
Yeah.
Because this beer comes in at 15% alcohol by volume.
All right, there you go.
2012 Bourbon County Brand Stout from Goose Island Brewing Company. So, have you had this one, Chef, before?
No.
Okay, but you two have had it.
I've had it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at a party for New Year's, and we had this that night, Joby. And on that night, you seemed less than impressed.
Yeah, I
You stick with it.
I was. I mean, there's very little beers that I've had that have the bourbon type of alcohol taste, the smell that I really enjoy. Again, I'm not a bourbon lover, and I never claimed to be, so I think that probably has a little bit to do with it. So when we had it on New Year's, I think my perception going into it probably wasn't the best. And again, blindly, I still smell the booze on it, and I still taste it. So I think that's where my rating came in a little lower.
When you talk about bourbon barrel stouts, to me, this is that. I stand by my 9. I mean, this to me is a good bourbon barrel stout. It doesn't have that true harsh booziness that other bourbon barrel stouts that I've had. I mean, you talk about like Kentucky bourbon barrel stout. I think that has a harsh bourbon flavor, and this does have the booziness, but I think it's blended well so that it doesn't carry all the way through. That's not all you taste. You definitely can recognize the other flavor characteristics versus some other bourbon barrel stouts out there. I think they did an excellent job with this.
Ryan, we had this together a couple weeks ago or months ago, and if this hadn't been a blind taste test, I mean, what would you have imagined coming into this? I
think my perception of the beer, I've not had it this young before. This one, the data on this bottle is a little over about 3.5 months ago, bottled. And I think the ones that I've had, the one that I had most recently was a 2009. So instead of 3.5 months, more like 3 years.
Right.
And this is definitely a beer that you could put down and let it age and let those flavors and aromas change over the course of a number of years.
Okay. Well, Bourbon County Brand Stout gets an 8.0 on the BBA scale. Have you had this beer? What do you think? I bet you have a big opinion. Leave it in the comment section. Thanks for watching. I'm James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority.
Better Beer Authority, Better Beer Authority, Better Beer Authority.